Hey guys, this is part 2 of our first math lesson. My videos only let me record for so long and then I have to start another one. So I wanted to jump to the word problems for just a minute because they are kind of tricky. And so let's look at question number 2 on the second page of your math and let's read that. Question 2 says, a sculpture pictured below is made of two sizes of rectangular prisms. One size measures 13 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches. Sorry, my dog keeps jumping off. And the other size measures 9 inches by 8 inches by 18 inches. So what is the total volume of the sculpture? So when I take a look at the sculpture, I see two different kinds of shapes, right? Two different sizes, I guess, of those shapes. We have the big ones that look like here and here. These seem to be about the same. And then the small ones here, 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 here. Oh, but even here and here seem to be about the same as well. Okay. So when I'm taking a look at that, I see, wow, okay, 18 by 8 by 9, that's probably the big ones. And then 13 by 8 by 2, that's probably the small rectangular prisms. So I've got to figure out what the big and the small is, and then figure out how many of each we have and put it all together. Lots of steps, I know. Okay, so let's start with the big ones. Okay, let's go back to these ones that I colored in black. And those, whoops, were 18 by 9 by 8. Okay, so does it matter which order we put them in? Again, it doesn't matter. So volume equals length times width times height, right? So the volume, doesn't matter which order, is 9 by 8 by 18. Okay, and then of the small ones, remember these are our small ones here that we colored in red, the volume is 13 by 8 by 2. So 13 times 8 times 2. So I'm working with those two equations to start with, right? Okay, so here it does not matter how you group them. You decide how you're going to group them. So I'm going to do the numbers that I know that I can do in my head this time. I'm going to do 9 times 8. So everybody think it, 9 times 8. Use your nines trick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I have 7 tens and 2 ones. So 9 times 8 equals 72 times 18. And I'm going to go ahead, because that's double digit, I'm going to go ahead and stack those when I multiply, because that's always easier for me. 72 times 18. So I'm going to have you think about that for just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to do 8 times 2, figure out what that is, and then 8 times 7. Give it a shot. This is my cat Snickers behind me here. Oh, he's on this side. There you go. He likes to sleep on the couch. Okay, so as I'm looking at that, 8 times 2 equals 16. So I put my 6, carry my 1. And then 8 times 7, I need to think about that. Well, I know 8 times 5 is 40. So 2 more 8s, 48, 56, plus 1 more, so I have 57. Okay, then I'm done with my 8 in my ones place, so I have to put a 0 to mark its spot. And now I'm going to multiply by my tens place. In my tens place, it's just 1 tenth, so that's easy. 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 7 is 7. What do I do with those two numbers? Yep, I have to add them up. So everybody add them up. Sorry, I know it's super sloppy writing on the computer. So when I add them up, I'm going to get 6. 7 plus 2 is 9. 5 plus 7 equals 12. Hopefully you can read that through there. So I have the volume of a large prism is 1,296 inches. And remember, we're going to cube those, right? Okay. Now, I need to do the volume of the small rectangular prisms. So let's check that. We had 13 times 8 times 2. Okay. So I'm going to do these two numbers together just to make things easier. So 13 times 2, that's like 13 plus 13. And I know that is 26. And then I'm going to multiply that times 8. That way I have a 2-digit by 1-digit. That makes it pretty easy. 26 times 8. Solve that equation. So I'm going to think about 8 times 6 equals, well, 8 times 5 is 40, so 8 times 6 is 48. And 8 times 2, 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 more is 20. So our, excuse me, the volume of our small rectangular prisms is 208. The volume of our large rectangular prisms is 1,296. Well, is there only one of each? No. Okay, so how many big ones do we have? The large rectangular prisms, remember we have 1 and 2 of those. So that means I need 1,296, and I need to do it 2 times. So I can just multiply times 2. All right, so 6 times 2, 12, good. I'm going to put my little one up here because I can't really see it. Okay, 9 times 2, 18, plus 1 more, 19, good. So I have to carry my little one up here again. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5, and 2 times 1 is 2. So the volume of our large rectangular prisms is 2,592. Well, now I need to know how much is the total volume of all those little tiny rectangular prisms. And I know that one prism is 208. How many prisms do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have to do 208 times 6, right? Okay, so let's do it. 8 times 6. Think it. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 was 48. Carry my little 4. Okay. 6 times 0. Well, that's an easy one. I get 0. Plus 4 equals 4. And 6 times 2 equals 12. So now I know that all of the little prisms total a volume of 1,248. Okay. Now what? What do I do? Remember the question says, what is the total? Okay. I have to get the total volume of the sculpture. So I have the little and I have the big. And to find the total, we have to do what? Yep, we have to add them together. So over here, I'm going to add them together. I have 2,592. And I'm going to add 1,248. So add those two numbers up. And we get 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 4, 14. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 3. So we have 3,840 centimeters cubed. And that is how we solve that problem. Who has questions? If you do, send them to me. Okay? All right. A quick little look at some of the other things that we had. Question number 3, the combined volume of 2 identical cubes is 128 cubic centimeters. What's the side length of each cube? Well, a cube is made up of what kinds of shapes, guys? Ooh, think about it. If you draw out a cube, I don't know if Miss Kelly can draw it on a computer. What do we know about the sides of every cube? That's what you need to think about here. I'm going to give you that clue. Okay? And combined, they are 128. But there are 2 of them. So we're going to have to divide up that 128. Divided by how many cubes? 2. So we're going to find the volume, total volume of each one, right? And then you're going to have to think about, okay, volume equals length times width times height. Think about what kind of shape is this and what do we know about the length, the width, and the height? That's the clue I'm going to give you right now, okay? On number 4, a rectangular tank with a base of 24 centimeters squared is filled with water and oil to the depth of 9 centimeters. The oil and water separate into 2 layers when the oil rises to the top because, okay, different densities, we've got oil on the top, okay? If the thickness of the oil layer is 4 centimeters, what is the volume of the water? So they gave you some information, okay? They said the area, remember area is a flat surface, right? The area is 24 centimeters. So that means they're talking about this space in here on the top flat side. I didn't color that very well, but right in here. Okay, the area of this, if this was just a flat surface, right? Area equals 24 centimeters squared. Okay, when it's filled with water and oil to a depth of 9 centimeters. So the total, when we're talking about the total, is 9. Well, we know we have 4, so what's left here? What's left here is 5. So I know that the area in here is 4, and I have to know something. I have to know what is the equation for area. We talked about this earlier. We've done this a lot. Area equals length times, right, width, okay? So if I put that in an equation, all right, I know that my area is 24, okay? And it's going to equal my length times my width, all right? So how are you going to figure out what is, whoops, that's supposed to be 24. How are you going to figure out what is the length and what is the width in this shape? How do you know? I'm going to give you some time to try and figure that out, okay? I'm going to take a look at question 5 with you, all right? 5 says 2 rectangular prisms have a combined volume of 432 cubic feet. Prism A has half the volume of prism B. So you've got 2 rectangular prisms, right? They could be stacked or they could be separate. And prism A is half the volume of prism B. But together, the volume is 432 cubic feet, okay? So what is the volume of prism A and what is the volume of prism B, okay? I can't just divide by 2 because that would make the volume the same. So I have to figure out how do I decide what the volume is, okay? I'm going to make you think about that before I give you the answer. We'll talk about it tomorrow. If prism A has a base of 24 feet, okay, what is the height of prism A? So if it's saying if this is 24, if it tells you that, it wants to know what is the height. So that's what you're going to look for. And then if prism B's base is 2/3 the area of prism A's base, okay, what is the height of prism B? Oh, okay, Miss Kelly gave you misinformation on this part, okay? So let's go back for just 1 second. When it's talking about the base of the prism, I was thinking length. That's my fault. So if you look at B, okay, the base is like a flat surface. So it's like what would be in the flat? It's kind of like this part right here where we colored it in. It's the flat surface. So if it's saying that the prism A's base is 24 feet squared, that's the area of that part. It would be the same on the bottom as it is on the top, right? Because they're the same, okay? And then prism B's base is 2/3 the area of prism A. Okay. So that's a really tricky one. We will talk more about that, okay? I want to see if you can even figure out A by yourself. That is your goal. The rest of them are really tough, and they're kind of more of a challenge. So work on them, but if you don't get there, it's okay. We'll talk through them. Let me know if you have questions, but that's our math for tomorrow. And I will see you soon. Okay, bye.